Welcome to yet another episode of The Royal Corner. I am so delighted that you've made the time to come and join us today. Today's topic is about overcoming, and it's one that's very sensitive, but nonetheless is one that we need to talk more and more about. And that is the topic of gender-based violence. We see daily around us women and children experiencing heartache, losing their lives, and really suffering at the hands of the people that should be loving them the most. I'd like to introduce my guest today. Her name is Bonhle Mangcipu. She's joining me today to talk about her story on gender-based violence and how she thought she had met the love of her life and how still today she's living with the consequences of staying in a relationship where she was abused. Bonhle, welcome to the Royal Corner.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for making the time. I'm so excited because, we talk about various topics on the Royal Corner. And when I came across your Facebook post,
Yes.
I just felt like I need to have her on. And thank you so much for receiving me well. And I really want to applaud you for
Thank you.
the fact that you're willing to talk about your experience because
Yes.
many women have not lived to tell the story.
Yes.
So welcome. And please, I'd like you to feel free. This is a chat. And I think before we kick off to get into the details about your journey, I'd like to know a little bit more about you and who Bonhle is, where you come from, where you grew up, and anything that you'd like to share with us on the Royal Corner.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Bonhle Mangcipu. I am 27. I'm a mom to a 3-year-old. And I'm a gender-based violence advocate. And I'm also a child trafficking advocate. And we'll get into that.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
That's also what I do.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're so young, 27.
Yes. I'm very, very young. I was a wife as well.
Yes.
At a young age, by choice. So my daughter was almost stolen. Well, not almost stolen. She was almost sold, and that's how I'm also into the whole child trafficking thing.
Sure.
Yes.
Bonhle, I know you and I spoke a little bit
Yes.
offline. Well, not a little bit. We had quite a lengthy chat. I almost
Yeah.
feel like there was a recording on its own.
It was quite long. It was hours, actually.
It was. And I know I've got a bit of insight into your story,
Yes.
but I'd like you to also take the audience through, before we get into the child trafficking, how you got into the relationship that you were in, how old you were, and what it meant to you then, because you said you chose to become a young wife.
Yes.
Yes, I'd like to hear a bit more
Yes.
about that and that journey when it was still rosy.
When it was still peaches and roses and creams. So I met him in 2017.
Yeah.
He's 3 years older than me.
Okay.
So it's not a huge age gap. He lived alone at his mother's house. And me being so in love, it wasn't even planned for me to move in with him. Like, I visited him and I just never left. I just
Fat and
never
sit.
left. Yeah, it was a fat and sit. Like, I told my parents I'd be back after a weekend. And I was back after 3 months to get my stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's how it started. And then it was just him and I throughout our entire relationship. Like, we'd never lived with anybody else. It was always just the two of us. And later on, I found out that he was love bombing me. I didn't even know that is a term, love bombing. Because on paper, he was perfect. He was, he was romantic. He was sweet, breakfast in bed. He was I just did not want to not be around him. So I never saw this coming. Till today, I would say the first 3 years of my relationship with him were the best 3 years of my life by far. I still say that. Till today, I still say that. So, but that's how it was. And then it changed.
Sure.
It changed. And I remember till this very day how it changed and when it changed. And it came, I remember day and night. I remember tonight, he was this amazing guy. And then tomorrow morning, I woke up to a completely different person.
Sure.
Yeah. I remember it till the detail.
So you say the first 3 years were rosy.
Yeah.
There were no signs. No. He'd never yelled at you.
No. In fact, I was the one that was considered the angry one, When we get into a disagreement, I would be the one that's hyped up. Like, I would be the one that would sort of raise my voice at him. And he would shut down and he would walk out and he'd say, I'm going to come back when you are calm and we will talk about this. And I was like, oh my goodness, I found this guy who's level-headed, a guy that never spoke back to me, a guy that never, and it encouraged me to better myself. Like, okay, work on your communication. Clearly, he's trying to listen to you, but he will not listen to you in this way. He carved me. He changed me at the time into such a wonderful person. He made me see life through a different lens. He was so supportive, so calm, so sweet, so nurturing. And all along, he was love bombing me. I didn't know he was love bombing me.
Sure.
I thought he was just loving me. I didn't know. So that's from the many, many people that I've spoken to, the one thing they always say and the one thing we have in common was, I never saw this coming. That's how they lure you in. That's how they bring you in. They make you feel safe. They make you trust you. And some of them, they can do this for years, like in my case. Many, 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 many years where you will always say, like, I didn't see it coming. I didn't know that it could happen. So that's love bombing. They lure you in.
Yeah.
Without you knowing. You just go around saying, he loves me. Other people say he's a bit obsessed. You say, no, he loves me. He loves me.
Sure.
Yeah. And that's how it started.
And when you speak about the obsession then, when you say that other people would say that it's obsession, what were some of the things that he was doing that maybe to the next person it could come across as this person is obsessed with you?
He was just always by me. Even when I went home to visit my parents, I don't remember there was a time where I went to visit my parents without him. He would always insist he'd be wherever I be. I go out with friends. My girlfriends at the time, they would be like, we thought this was like a ladies' evening. Why is he here? Even at work, when I was working, he would like sit and wait for me in the parking lot. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. He would sit and wait for me in the parking lot. And at the time, I did not see anything wrong with that. You know, I really, now looking back, I was also like, okay, you know, there's a red flag. But he was just always with me, and he always wanted my location, and he always just always by my side.
Yeah.
He was always by my side. I think the only time I wasn't with him was when I went to the bathroom. That was the only time I wasn't with him. Yeah.
And you said, how sweet. This person is just
Yeah.
all about me.
Yeah. People would say to me like, Bonhle, this is obsession. And I'm like, no, he loves me and he wants to be around me, and why not, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. And then when the penny finally dropped, because the way that you described it earlier was that, you know, it was day and night. You know, today he was this perfect gentleman, so sweet, and then tomorrow things had changed.
Yes.
What happened the first time, you know?
So the abuse started off by, I remember him and I were arguing. And our arguments were always very, at the beginning, petty, you know, but I would actually not even call it an argument, I'd call it a disagreement. And I was used to this guy that would be like, you know what, let's just agree to disagree, and let's just call it a day. To a guy now that would, the way he would like scream back at me, that's how it started. It started literally when someone says he snapped, he snapped.
Sure.
He started screaming at me. He started berating me. He started belittling me to slapping me. Yeah. So the slapping me didn't happen every day. You know, he would do it today and he wouldn't do it again for like 6 weeks. So I would have this thing in the back of my mind, like, okay, it was just a mistake. It's not going to happen again. But he'd also come crawling back, like, I'm so sorry. Like, you know, I hate arguing. Like, why can't we just drop it? You know, it will never happen again. And it's okay, my love. It's okay. I understand it was a mistake. No, that's how it started. It started off very, very small, very, very little. And it evolved. It got worse.
Sure.
Yeah, it got worse.
And in those moments, were you sharing with anyone when these episodes were happening?
No.
I understand that they were infrequent in the beginning, but as they started to intensify, were you sharing with perhaps your family?
No.
You kept it to yourself?
I kept it to myself. My parents started noticing something was wrong. So I've got a great relationship with my parents. Very, very open. Nothing's off topic. When you're not home, I don't care how old you are. Let me know where you are, kind of a relationship, you know. And I was always video calling my mom, always. And my parents started thinking something was wrong when I stopped visiting. and when I would put down a video call and turn it into a voice call. So that's how my parents started to realize, okay, something is wrong. And my mom would always be like, can I come over? No, mom, no, I'm not at home. I'm a bit busy. And, I completely isolated myself. Completely, even from my friends, everybody, I isolated myself because I had a busted lip and a blue eye.
Sure.
Yeah. So, like even on my Facebook, you can see there's like a time where I used to post like all the time, and I stopped posting for like 3 years. I was just posting memes and pictures of my dogs, but like never of me. Yeah. So I started isolating myself. Yeah.
And did they actually talk to you about it? Did they give a hint
Yeah.
to say, hey, is everything okay?
Yeah. My dad. So when I was better, when I thought I looked better, so a thing with a blue eye, or on me at least, when I had a blue eye, when I started to heal, I still had like a massive dark bag under my eye. So I thought nothing of it, and I went home and I visited my dad, and my dad was looking at me like, are you okay? And I said, yes. Why? And he was like, what's this? And I said, oh no, my dog, I had a dog named Dudley. It's like, oh, my dog, like I threw a tennis ball, she came back and she smacked me in the face. That was just the quickest thing I could think of, but that doesn't even make sense. How's a dog going to smack you across the face? But he bought it. But he bought it, yeah.
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 Sure.
That's how it was, yeah. I even lost my job that way because I stopped showing up to work. And my boss would be like, what's wrong? Where are you? And I could only make up so many excuses. And she just WhatsApped me the one day and said, I just don't come back.
Oof.
Yeah.
So she had no idea that actually what you're
No.
going through behind
No.
closed doors.
No.
Yeah.
Nothing.
And in any of those incidents, you never thought of calling the police, opening a case? Or you just thought, it's going to get better. He just got really upset this one time.
I think deep down in my heart, I knew the right thing to do was seek help. But because I loved this man so much and just hoping that he would snap out of it and come back to earth, I waited for him. At the time, you feel like you're grieving. You feel like you are mourning. You've lost this man. You didn't bury him. He's still here by flesh. But I remember that feeling of grieving and mourning, and I'd always ask him, like, where are you? What happened to you? Where did you go? What? And I would always say to him, like, come back. And he's like, I'm right here. And I'm like, no, come back. I miss you.
Sure.
Yeah.
And did he, through that journey, because he was saying he's right here and you knew that this is not the man that you first fell in love with, were there any interventions that took place? I know you're saying that you didn't share with your family or your friends. Did he seek help?
No. And he refused to. He absolutely refused to. Especially when COVID hit, I said, listen, let's get help. No. I said, okay, you can get help. I don't even have to be there. Like, you can talk to someone. No. Let's do it together. No. Let's do it virtually. Like I said, COVID hit. So at the time, like, I know psychologists and stuff, they were doing...
virtual.
Yeah, they were doing it virtually. So I said, I can get out of the room. I can leave. Do you want it to be a male? Do you want it to be a female? I tried everything. I tried everything, and he refused. He absolutely refused. He absolutely refused to get help.
Sure.
Yeah.
So he didn't see anything wrong like that?
No, because everything was my fault.
Okay.
Everything was my fault.
Sure.
Yeah.
So every time he'd hit you, it's your
was my
fault
fault.
because you upset him?
Yes. Everything was my fault. Every single incident was my fault. So I'm the one that needed the help. I'm the one that needed to fix the relationship. I'm the one that needed to do everything on my own. I was the problem, not him.
And did you see it that way as he was saying these things to you? Did you internalize it and believed it?
At the beginning. I remember earlier I said, like, okay, maybe I should work on my communication. Maybe that's when the self-blame started to come in. Maybe I should work on myself. Maybe I should work on my communication. Maybe I am talking to him rudely. Maybe I am making him snap like this. At the beginning, yeah, I 100% agreed with him. But then even when I stopped doing the things he didn't like,
Yeah.
it continued.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you realize that,
Yeah. At some point, I realized, like, listen, Bonhle, it just doesn't make sense. And I'm naturally like a very strong-willed woman.
yeah.
I don't know how to back down. I'm very vocal. If I don't like something, I say it. I've always been like that, even before him. I don't pretend. I don't fake it. But now I was willing to. I was like willing to have him disrespect me and me just be like, please calm down. It's okay.
Sure.
I'm sorry. And that is huge for me.
Sure.
Everybody will tell you that I would never let someone disrespecting me slide. Ever. Ever. I would tell you, I don't like the way you spoke to me. But with him, I never did that. With him, I never. I backed off. I backed down. And then here's the part that gets me the most. So we lived in a double-story house. And I was upstairs a lot. And he was downstairs a lot. And I guess him and I were at this point where we're like, when we are around each other, we're fighting a lot. But I actually found out that he was distancing himself from me because he started actively using drugs.
Okay.
And he started using drugs, obviously, inside the house. Because I knew he didn't leave. I knew he was somewhere in the yard. I knew he didn't go anywhere. And at the time, I realized I found all of this drug use out during court. But during the relationship, I had absolutely no idea. Yes, he was losing weight. He was a big guy. He was like 110 kgs. And then he ended up as, skinny as me. But he'd always told me from the beginning of our relationship, like, Bonhle, I want to lose weight.
Okay.
So at the time, I didn't do my 1+1. But then he started losing weight, like, excessively. Like his cheekbones were, like, almost pulling in. And then his skull over here was, like, showing. And then he was almost skeleton-like. He was almost skeleton-like, yeah. He was almost skeleton-like. He was barely eating. And because I've never used drugs before, I've never studied it, I've never read upon it, I know it exists, but I don't know the side effects. I don't know how someone looks when they're using it.
Yeah.
I don't know anything. I don't know. And I didn't smell anything. I thought you need to, like, all drugs smell.
Yeah.
I thought all of them have a scent to them.
Yeah.
So I didn't smell anything at home. So I didn't think that he was using drugs. I didn't.
So you'd never once seen him using...
No.
Because you say that you found it in court.
No.
Wow.
But that explains the distance and the isolation.
Yes.
That explains it to me a lot.
So he can have space to do what he needed to do.
Yes. And I didn't bug him because that was my leave him to cool down time. He will come to you. And I went around the house just as normal, cooking, cleaning, feeding the dogs, doing everything like that. As normal. Yet all this time, he's like sitting in the jacuzzi room in the corner doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't know.
And coming out of there, because you didn't know, but connecting the dots, looking backwards, he wouldn't come out and he's super, whether it's aggressive, you didn't even do anything, or elated for whatever reason.
No. And his aggression, I was so used to him being aggressive that I couldn't tell the difference between him being sober and high.
Sure.
I just thought he was sober the whole time. I know he doesn't drink. That for sure. He never drank. He's got a little bit of a kidney problem. So he never drank. But the way he was just always aggressive to me, I never looked him in the eyes and I was like, you are high. I didn't know. I didn't know.
That is intense.
Yeah.
That is intense.
Yeah.
And when did it finally dawn on you that you are not going to make it here? Your life is at risk. When was that straw that broke the camel's back when you actually eventually left?
So I took 2 stages to get to that point.
Okay.
I felt pregnant. And that's when I was like, I cannot have my baby live like this. That was my first step towards the end. And then he, when I was 6 months pregnant, he promised me the moon, the stars, and the sun. I'm going to change. Still didn't know that he was on drugs. I'm going to change. Let's get married. I love you. And even us getting married, like, it was very quick. It was very, very quick. Like, I didn't have guests there. It was just my mom, my dad, my grandma, 2 of our friends. and the pastor.
His family? No one from his family?
None from his family. None from his family. And he always blamed his family not liking him because of me. But I later realized that that's far from the truth. Yeah. But anyway, so the wedding was quick. Everything was quick. Got married. But I remember when I had that pen in my hand, I could see myself like slow-mo, like, don't sign, don't sign, don't sign. And I signed. Yeah.
Because you loved him.
I loved him. I loved him, and I still stand by that I loved him. And then, so him and I were both broke. Both like dirt broke. And because my parents were suspecting the abuse, they said, listen, we're not going to send you money. If you're hungry, come home. That's what they said to me. So I started coming home more with my daughter. Sometimes I would leave her behind and go back to him to try and work on things and be this family that I really wanted us to be. But then I need to remember that I left my baby at home, so then I'd go. So I was doing this. And then the last week of August 2022, he texted me when I was at home with my parents, and he's like, listen, we're having a tombstone unveiling for my mom, and I'd really like for you and our daughter to be there. And I was like, why would I take that away from him? And just to be clear, like, his mom passed away during the abuse.
Okay.
So she is not the reason for the abuse. The abuse was happening before she even passed away.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's not like he was acting out of,
No.
frustration and anger.
It got worse maybe afterwards, but I would never blame the passing of his mom on it. It happened way before. But yeah, so so I was like, why would I take this away from him? And I packed a small bag. I was supposed to be there for like 3 days, I think. And I packed a small bag and I went with our daughter. I don't remember most of the arguments because it's just, it just happens. Like, you just light a match, throw it on the petrol, and it just lights up. And we got into it again. And this time I'm holding her. And he used to love doing this thing where he would grab her from me. And instead of me holding on, I would let her go. Because this is a few-month-old baby. I would let her go. And he just starts pounding on me and while...
He's carrying the baby.
Yes. And she's 6 months old at the time. So her neck keeps going like...
Yo.
And I'm like, stop, you are hurting her. And I'm trying to reach over to her and support her neck. But he's taking it as if I want to take her away from him. So he's going for me upstairs in our room. Now, next door, we were renting out our flatlet. And the tenants heard everything. And the female tenant came running in and she said, just give me the baby. Just give me the baby. Do whatever you want, but just give me the baby. But now my dog was also there. And she went for the tenant. And the tenant had no choice to leave and go back to her flat. Yeah, because of my dog. And he's going for me and going for me and going for me. And I'm not fighting back. I'm not yelling back. I'm just saying, stop, stop, stop. Because now her neck is like this.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. And I'm like, just stop, just stop. But she's screaming and screaming. And next minute, I'm out.
You're knocked out.
Out. Cold. I am knocked out. I just remember seeing black, like when your eyes are closed. Out. And then I came to, that feeling of being home alone. Like nobody's there. I could feel that nobody's there. That hit me like, I don't know, that hit me. And I said, in my heart, I'm like, no one's home. I went up and down that house. I went outside. I went to the backyard. I went everywhere where I would usually find him doing whatever he's doing. He's not there. I run back upstairs. Something tells me, look at the wardrobe. And I just turn. And her clothes is gone. Her formula is gone. Her nappies are gone. I'm looking for my phone. He took my phone. And behind my phone, I always put my ID there. So he took my ID as well. He took our marriage certificate, birth certificate, her birth certificate. And just just in short, an indication like, oh my goodness, he's not coming back with her.
Sure.
And that was the first time I called the police on him. I used the tenant's phone.
Mm-hmm.
I ran to her and I said, please give me your phone, please give me your phone. She took him. So I didn't call the police because he beat me. I called the police because he took my baby. And obviously the police want to know what happened, and you tell them everything that happened and all of that. And they said, okay, we will come to you so we can get the identification of the baby and we'll start looking. Some time goes by, a car pulls up by the gate and I look out and there he was. And I said to myself, like, if he does not come out of that car with my baby, I'll kill him. And that was the minute I lost feelings for him. I lost feelings for him like a mic drop. I felt, literally, like I'm not even over exaggerating. I felt the love escape my body that day. I felt it. And I said, if he does not come out with my baby, I will stab him. As soon as he walks through that door, I will get him. This is it for me. And there she was.
He's carrying her.
He's carrying her. Slams the door shut. He doesn't come upstairs. He goes in downstairs. I call the police back and I say, listen, he's here. They say, don't go. Don't go. So I say, please, I need to check on my baby. They said, don't go. We are coming. Not even 10 minutes later, they drive past. I flag them down. They come. And I let them in, and the first thing I do is just shoot to my baby. And when I unfolded her, because she's quiet, I'm already thinking the worst. I unfold the blanket. Sure, this is so eerie for me. So I unfold the blanket, and she is in a completely different set of clothes that I've never seen before. Brand new. Yeah. So that was to throw off the description that I was going to give to the police. And long story short, the police asked me, like, do you want to open the case? Because they also see me, like, all bruised and battered and stuff. And you know what he said? I had 2, like, knobs here from the punches. And he said, don't you see the devil? It's not me.
Ah.
Yeah. Because I had 2 knobs over here. And he said, oh, my devil horns are growing out, finally. That's what he said.
He said that to the police?
Yes. In the TV room. He said, don't you see I'm not the devil? She's the one that's got her devil horns that are growing out of her skull.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And I said, yes, I do want to open a case against him. I do. And like I said, we were living at his house, so it was only right for me to just go.
Yeah.
And I remember I didn't even pack. I just left everything there. I locked up. I hid the key where we usually hid it. And I left.
So you opened the case, they took him with?
Yeah. So they took him with. This was the 31st of August, 2022. I'll never forget that day. They took him with, and they gave me I'm not good with these names, but it's like a form where you go to the doctor and they fill in where you got hurt.
Yeah.
So I spent the night without him. I spent the night at his house. It was me, it was our daughter, and our dogs. The next morning, because the clinic was literally down the road, the next morning, I went to the clinic with my baby. They did what they needed to do. I went to the police station, which is also nearby, thankfully. I went to the police station. I handed in my the form. Next minute, I don't know, something told me to go on WhatsApp and have a look at him. And he was online.
Yo.
Yeah, he was online. I can't tell you how quick I got out of there because I said, this man's coming home and he's going to finish me off. This man is coming home. I requested a bolt. How we were going to pay it, I said, I'll figure it out in the front. I requested a bolt. I threw myself in. I threw my baby in. And I left. Then 2 days later, I left the dogs alone. I left them with enough food and water. And I left because I thought he was coming back. 2 days later, I haven't heard anything from the tenants telling me that he's back. And I said, okay, but the dogs have been left home alone for quite long. I left my baby behind. Like, I'm an animal lover. I'm a huge animal lover. I left my daughter behind at home, took a taxi to our house, and I called SPCA, and I surrendered them. And that was the last time I was ever at that house. 2nd of September, 2022. Then, on my birthday, I gifted myself a divorce and a protection order.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I did. I gifted myself a divorce and a protection order on my birthday.
So you issued him with summons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything. Everything.
And he didn't give you any hassles?
No, he did.
Mm.
It went back like 4 times, the divorce. He would say he would refuse to sign it, and what else? The protection order would say it's incomplete. And in my head, I'd be like, how do you even know a protection order in the first place to know that it's incomplete? But okay. And you know what? Eventually, they just figured out that he's being difficult. We are going to proceed without him. Yeah. Then we had our hearing for the protection order.
Okay.
Because I dotted down a few things that like I just did not want him around our daughter. I did not want him around me. And the only condition that I gave was that he gets help. And he didn't show up. So I was granted everything I wanted. And I still stand by that. Like I'm not sitting here wishing death upon him.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting here because he's not, wherever he is, I'm hearing that he's not okay. He lost the house, he lost his car, he's currently homeless, or he's couch hopping, and he is still actively using drugs. I'm not wishing death upon him.
Yeah.
We will never get back together.
Yeah.
But I do want him to get help. He needs help. He needs help.
Yeah.
And I remember the first few times we went to court, I asked, can you not summons him to rehab? Can you not summons him to a therapist? And I'm still waiting. Yeah.
So take us back. At that point that he had been arrested and then you saw him online, did he get bail? What was the procedure like from there? Because I think it'd be so good also for other ladies who are stuck in relationships where either they're finding it difficult to leave or they're afraid to really understand what goes on in terms of the procedure itself. So he was arrested at that point when the cops came to the house.
Yes, he was arrested.
And then what happened from then on?
And then when I went back to surrender the dogs on the 2nd of September, the car pulled up to our house. And a detective came out and he's like, hi, I'm Detective so-and-so. Sorry, I couldn't call you. Here regards to your case. I said, okay. So he's like to me, there's a new law or a new regulation. I don't know if it's specifically for gender-based violence cases or for everybody, but they asked the victim, do you want him to get bail or not?
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want him to get bail or not? And I said, yeah, can grant him bail. Why did I say that? The house that we were living in turned into an estate. His mom passed away. We lived in his mom's house.
Okay.
Turned into an estate. Him and his sister got into it. I did not want to be involved. Those tenants were not my tenants. There was just a lot of things that were just legally not mine to handle. And I did not want to handle them. And I just said, give him bail so he can come back, sort out his stuff. Also thinking that I would not have the justice system take so long to handle everything. I also did not know as much as I know now. If I knew today what I knew today back then, I would have said, no, don't grant him bail. I would have said that. If I knew that he would still be walking around scot-free, like how many years later?
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure. And that first court appearance that you speak of, what was that like?
So he brought another girl with him.
To court?
Yeah. Yeah. And I actually, let's just backtrack a little bit. So he got bail. And then like literally 10 days later, my friend sends me a link on Facebook.
Yeah.
She's like, Bonhle, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you need to have a look at this. And I tapped it, and there this one girl is with him on my bed, having like a great time, like shooting the selfies. 10 days later.
Yo.
Yeah. 10 days later, and I was with this guy for 7 years. I was his wife for a year. And then when we went to court for the first time, he brought a different girl with him. I'm not going to lie, that put my heart in a knot. I could not stop swallowing my spit that day. That put my heart in such a knot. And everybody was telling me, like, no, he's doing it to aggravate you. He's doing it so you can fly over the court, smack her across the face, and you're also now in trouble. So they always told me, like, just look down, look away, ignore him. And he did that every single court case. Sometimes he brought 2 girls with him. Sometimes, like one on this side and one on this side.
Right.
Yeah. And I just took it. It stopped bothering me. It eventually stopped bothering me. One of his girlfriends attempted to talk to me, and I let her. And she introduced herself to me. And in my head, I was like, why? Why do you want to talk to me? Why? And I said to him, like, listen, just get away from me.
This was in courts or?
Yeah, I think we were in recess. And I was at the parking in the sun. I remember it was quite cold. And I saw her walk up to me like this. And I was like, please, Jesus, please, not today. Please, I'm hoping maybe her car is behind me. Please, not today. And I saw her come up to me. Like, I'm a really good friend of his. And I said, of course you are. Of course you are. And he just wants to see his baby. And listen. To him and everybody in his side of the world, I'm wrong till today. I took the baby away from him. I'm the reason why he can't see her. I'm the reason. You cannot do that. It is illegal for a mother to keep a child away from a father. So I was very careful with my words when I said, I don't want him to see her until he gets help. I was very careful. I didn't just say, no, get away. I don't want you. No. That's illegal. I can get in a lot of trouble for doing that, and a lot of women don't know that. Is that it's illegal to do that. Like, he just wants to see her. He just wants to this, he just wants to that. And I just said to her, like, he knows what he needs to do to see her. And I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for him to get his life together for her. But I'm not holding my breath. I'm not holding my breath. I'm not.
Sure.
And I'm prepared to answer these questions to my baby girl one day.
One day.
I am. And I'm going to tell her the truth. And that's another thing that I would want women to do, especially who are victims and kids are involved. Do not badmouth him. That will scar the child. That will also make you seem like a villain. Just be honest. And if the truth is bad, it's still the truth.
Yeah.
Don't badmouth the father to the child. Don't ever do that. Just be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where had he gone with her? In that part of the story where he actually left with her?
So
and she came wearing different clothes?
Yeah, I know. I went to a mall nearby our house and bought her the clothes and whatever. And then I later on, obviously through the courts, I found out that he owed a drug dealer a lot of money, and he offered my daughter.
Yo.
The only reason why I still have my daughter today is because that dealer did not show up. So I don't know for how much. I don't know what they were gonna do with her. I don't know anything. I just know that he didn't show up, and he had no choice to come back home with her.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
So the story could be very different today.
Completely. I would be that mom on the news frantically looking for her child. I would be.
I'm so glad that's not your story.
Yeah, no, me too. Because even just thinking about it, just thinking about it, my daughter she could have been shipped in a container.
Sure.
She could have been put in a box. She could have been taken somewhere. Her body part would have been chopped up. She could have been a sex slave. She could have been a mule, a drug mule. She could have been...
Absolutely anything.
Anything.
We thank God that...
Yeah, no, we do. And I look at her every day I can't describe the feeling enough. That feeling of a mom, like, you never gonna see a child again. It is a terrible feeling. It is a terrible, terrible.
I can't even imagine it. That makes me sick to my stomach thinking and imagining.
And she wasn't gonna know anything. She wasn't gonna know I exist. This happened when she was 6 months old. She was gonna grow up not knowing that there's a Bonhle somewhere looking for her. That there's a Bonhle somewhere that's her real mom. She was not gonna know anything. She was not gonna remember me. She was not gonna remember her dad. She was not going to remember anything that happened. She was not going to she was just gonna live with these people or this family, thinking this is who she is. And and I'm still making up for it till this day, that I put my daughter in such danger.
Yeah.
I will make up for it for the rest of my life, even though she doesn't know. She doesn't know,
Sure.
but I'm still making up for it till today.
Till today.
Yeah.
I'd like to say kudos to you for having that courage finally. And I know it took like a very extreme circumstance or scenario, you know, with the picture that you painted to us earlier where he had actually knocked you out so bad, you know. But kudos to you, because I know of many women who still did not walk away, and many of them have lost their lives today.
Yeah.
So well done. I can't imagine it's been, or it was easy. And I want us to touch a little bit as well on some of the things that or the scars that you're living with today or having to deal with because of that abuse. So if you can just share that with us a bit.
So I'm currently struggling with depression and anxiety. I have really, really bad anxiety, especially when I go somewhere that I don't know. I don't know why I always have this gut feeling that it's just going to pop up from a bush and just, you know. And but I'm seeking help. I'm seeing psychologists. I'm doing what I need to do. I'm keeping busy and all of that. Then physically, I have scars all over my body. Yeah, I have scars all over my body. Some are better than how they used to be. And I've got one on my arm right here. I've got one over here where I got stabbed. He stabbed me with a screwdriver. Yeah. And then I've got my back brace, my back support.
Okay.
I suffer from severe back pain. I mean, I've been thrown, I've been dragged, I've been strangled, I've been choked, I've been punched, I've been kicked. He used to like kicking me on the back, especially when I was pregnant. And I wouldn't like turn around because I'm covering my stomach. So the back was, when I was pregnant, his favorite, and I'm struggling. I can't bend a lot. I can't, even now, like the way I'm sitting, like I keep, doing this. I have to be at a certain angle. I can't pick my daughter up as much as I want to. And I still get severe headaches. I get a lot of headaches. Till today, I do. I get severe headaches. It's a very uncomfortable thing. But I also remember my psychologist telling me, like, Bonhle, your body's also in shock. And I said, shock how? It's been months. And she said to me, she's like, your body's in shock that finally nothing is happening to it. You are not being beaten. You are not fighting. You are finally safe. And your body is trying to absorb that new life that you're living, that it could go so long without any physical abuse. And I said, I didn't know that. I didn't know, because there was a time where I wasn't with him for a long time, but oh my goodness, I was in so much pain. I was in so much pain, and I called her and I said, I think I need to go to a doctor. I don't know what's going on. And she said, give it some time. I'm not a doctor, but give it some time. Your body is in shock that everything is finally okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So the effects of abuse are long lasting. They live on post the abuse itself.
Yeah. Yeah. For a long time. I would love to sit here and say the minute you leave is the minute you'll be okay. There's still like these little demons in the back of your head that you still have to fight, and I'm still fighting them. And I left him in 2022, 2025. And I still have my days where I shut down. I still have my days where I just don't want to talk to anybody. I still have my days which affects me, when I do work. I can't go to work with like an upset lip and a terrible attitude. You have to engage with people. I have to, and it's hard. It's really. I said to my mom the other day, like, I just wish that I could just close my room for like a year and never come out. But I had to get right into it because I've got a baby. Yeah.
She's got to eat.
She's got to eat. She needed nappies. She's in school now. And the days for me don't feel like they are enough. They don't. And the hours as well. For me now, the hours are just so quick. I don't get to everything on time. I don't do, and that's another sign and a symptom, apparently. It's like feeling rushed. Everything's a rush. Everything, you need to do it now. You need to finish it now, but you don't have enough time to do it now. And you're there, you can't keep track of time. Yeah, it's also a side effect.
Sure.
Yeah.
You are a brave and phenomenal young
Thank
woman.
Thank you.
I mean, I know how I got access to you or just found you. It was through Facebook,
Yes.
interestingly. You know, social media is such a powerful tool.
Yes.
And I had it, like I shared with you, I had it so strong on my spirit that I really want to speak to someone who has suffered from gender-based violence.
Yes.
And, you know, you appeared and I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is it. And I remember reading your post, you know, the fact that you're willing to talk about your journey.
Yes.
I think that is so powerful. I think so many lives will be impacted through this conversation that we're having. I'm really, really so happy that you've been willing to come onto that platform and that you've shared your story in the amount of detail that you've shared it in. And I really want to wish you well.
Thank you.
With your journey, the rest of your journey, because I know it's day by day, you know.
It is day by day, but you know what? What I want to end things off, I like all of this is obviously like based on a true story, but I cannot express enough to you now after the abuse how happy I am. I am so happy. I'm in a new relationship.
Oh, yes, queen.
Yes. I've been with him for a year, just over a year now.
Yeah.
And he is just, I thought I was never going to date again.
Sure.
I thought I was going to be on my own. Like, I'm so happy. I'm so free.
Wow.
I've got the support that I need. And it's really, like I said, I can't express it enough, but if you are in that situation right now where you are being abused and leave, because the rainbow on the other side is just so worth it.
Wow.
I look at my daughter and this guy that I'm with, like, it was worth it. Wow. It was worth it. It was so worth it. I am just, despite having my mental health issues, despite just having those days, like, I can do the simplest thing now. Like, I can go to KFC and sit and eat, and I can go to a water park, and, you know, I can, those small things that I used to never do, I do them now like it's a norm. It is so worth it. Like, to wake up in the morning and not see a blue eye and a busted lip.
Oh, man.
I just want whoever is listening to this and whoever is going through what I went through to know that once you jump that road, man, it is so worth it.
Wow.
It is so worth it.
There's life on the other side.
There's life on the other side. There is life on the other side, and I am living, breathing proof of that.
Sure.
There is.
Wow.
There is. I did not always look like this.
Yeah.
I was skinny. I was dark. I had scratches everywhere. And then my hair was in patches because I was pulling it out. Now my hair is nice and thick.
It is so thick. It's so gorgeous. I've been looking at it.
Yeah. I've picked up weight in a good way.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
You found love. Your daughter's growing.
Yes. And most importantly, I left before my parents left me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. So, God forbid my parents go, they will know she's okay.
She's okay.
Yeah.
Bonhle, I hope one day I'm going to read a book about your life and what you've had to experience, especially at such a young age.
Yes.
I think what you've gone through has really raised you up quickly as well.
Yeah, no, it did. It did. Look, one thing I knew for sure in the abuse, I love being happy. I want to be happy. I did not want to realize at the age of 50, like, okay, I don't want to be with him. I still want to do things. I still want to go places. And I realized I'm not going to do all of that with him. I'm not. I realized it. And that's why everybody's like, you're 27 and divorced? I said, yeah.
Yep.
I did not want to miss out on life. I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't want to miss out on life. I still want to do things. Yeah.
And you still got so much life ahead of you.
Exactly.
The rest of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now my God loves me, man. He's going to keep me around for quite some time.
Yep.
And I want to enjoy every moment of it. I will not waste my time like that anymore.
Yeah.
I will not. My goal is to be happy.
Yeah.
And I want that to be everybody else's goal too. Just find that happiness. It's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What an incredible conversation. Can you believe our hour's already done? So quickly.
Bummer.
Yeah. We'll have a part two. We'll have a part two.
Yeah, no, we must.
We
No,
must.
we must.
We must.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
Thank you once more for honoring this invitation. I think, again, you're a phenomenal woman, and I think you're going to do great things. Keep
you.
facing the world with courage, going out there to tell your story, because I think sometimes when we just talk from a place of never having walked in those shoes, people can't relate to that. And that's why this platform is so important to me, that I bring people who have a story like yours of overcoming, because this is you having overcome. I know you still live with the scars. I know you still live with, the after effects of the abuse, but you walked away from that situation where you loved the man and he clearly didn't love you or himself, or even your daughter.
Yeah.
So I really into your future. I speak life and I say, with the lives that you touch, may you be blessed ever so abundantly, and may your cup overflow continuously.
Thank you.
May you be provided for. I know we spoke at the beginning. You were telling me that you've got a brace.
Yes, I've got a back brace. So I've got huge, got little tumors in my spine. Yeah, not next to, but in my spine.
Yeah.
And they're non-cancerous, thank you.
Thank
They don't have
goodness.
cancer. They're from trauma.
Yeah.
And I need to get an operation, but I simply cannot afford it. I can't.
Yeah.
But I need it.
Yeah.
I'm living with a back brace right now.
Which is uncomfortable.
It's very uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable, especially because I'm an active person.
Yeah.
And I have a baby that wants to be picked up.
Yeah, and you're still so young. Like you said, you want to live your life.
Yeah.
So please, potential sponsors out there. Bonhle didn't even ask for this. We were just talking in conversation. I was like, girl, here is a platform. There are good people out there with good hearts that may be able to help you pay for the surgery.
Yeah.
So I'm planting it out there as a seed.
you.
Our words are powerful.
Thank you.
We confess with our tongues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate it. I hope I can get it done. It's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's very, very uncomfortable. But rather live with the scars than live in the scar.
Ooh. That is so powerful.
Yeah.
That is so powerful.
Yeah.
Ladies and gents, you've heard it from the lady herself. I think it's such a beautiful story to have been able to share today on the platform, because too many times, like I said earlier, we hear these stories of gender-based violence, but usually it's when, the people have actually lost their lives. And here's a young woman who was courageous and brave enough through also the birth of her daughter to walk away and say enough is enough. So to whoever is out there who may be suffering from abuse and afraid to leave, you've heard from Bonhle. She was able to really be brave and walk away from that. So hopefully from this conversation, you will get courage. And if you know of any loved ones who are also in a similar situation, or there are any signs, please reach out to them and do share this interview with them, because I think from just the power of hearing it from the horse's mouth is phenomenal and tremendous. Well, there we have it, folks. Thank you for joining us for yet another episode of The Royal Corner, where we share stories of passion, purpose, excellence, and overcoming. Hope to have you again here next time.